Alright guys, here we are again. Third and final tutorial. This one's going to cover the addressable stuff. We've got a couple different kinds of things going on here. This is my son's computer, of course. It's not finished. I'm actually going to move some of this RGB around. I just have it set up here temporarily for this demonstration so we can talk about some of the stuff. What we're going to talk about is the different software that you use to sync everything up and make everything look the way you want it to look. Of course, you know, there's different motherboard manufacturers, you know, Gigabyte, Asus, MSI, ASRock. We took a look at the ASRock stuff in the first tutorial. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at the MSI stuff, the Asus stuff, and the Gigabyte stuff, along with the Corsair. So, all right, well, let's get into it. When you want to sync up your RGB, and you have a whole bunch of stuff like, you know, your memory and your video card, maybe you got some strips and some lights. The reality of that is you're really, unless you buy the same brand of everything, it's probably going to take different software to do different things to get it all to sync up. What we'll start out with, first of all, is, well, I guess the Asus stuff. Asus is probably the best stuff for compatibility when it comes to syncing everything along with Corsair. I don't have any Asus products in this motherboard, or excuse me, in this computer, except for this. We can kind of do something with that, and we'll get to that in a second. Otherwise, generally, when it comes to like memory, like this Trident Z Royal, you'll want to use the stuff the manufacturer of your motherboard has to control the RGB on that. Sometimes the motherboard manufacturer is not going to have it, so the Asus AuraSync stuff is probably the best alternative. But the thing about the AuraSync stuff is sometimes it can conflict with other programs. Like on my computer, if I had AuraSync running, and let's say I start up Mystic Light from MSI, because I have an MSI motherboard, I can get flickering, and sometimes it'll mess up the memory RGB lights, you know, and so I'll have to uninstall one of them. The one I chose to uninstall on mine was the AuraSync, because I would prefer the MSI Mystic Light, at least on my end, on that one. This computer here, we're using the AuraSync on it too, because Gigabyte doesn't have anything available on this board. I don't know about other boards. This is the B450 Aorus Pro Wi-Fi. I don't know if you can see that in there, that we're working with here. So this board here actually has several different types of RGB headers. Up here, this right here is a 5-volt 3-pin header, and down below here, I don't know if we can see it or not, there's another 3-pin 5-volt header, and then over next to that is a proprietary Gigabyte header, and next to that, I believe, is a 12-volt. We're not going to do the 12-volt RGB, you know, we already did that in tutorial 1 and 2. Went over that, so we're just going to focus on the addressable stuff here. Now, I don't have anything lit up right now. That's because I want to go over the software. And let me shut off the light here. Darken up the room here a little bit. Flip off my headlight here. My little, my daughter calls it the Captain Toad treasure tracker light that I keep on my head for when I'm recording. And we're going to switch over to the monitor here. Let's see. And we'll start off with the ASUS AuraSync stuff. Now, if we look on here, you'll see DRAM, water cooler. That's the two things that are listed, because the water cooler, of course, is an ASUS product. And let's see, let's turn this on. There we go. And we have it set to yellow, and I know that's pretty bright there. Let's see if we can turn that brightness down a little bit here. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's all gonna excuse me, glare up either way. So I guess we'll just go with that. All right, now this software is pretty nice because you can actually control the individual channels if you want. So we got, you know, breathing effect. You can see it fading in and out. Color cycle. See it going through different colors. And yeah. Alright. So you set it to a static red. Now, the rest of the RGB, if we want that to all be red, well, we have to kind of go into our different programs and get it to do that. But first of all, we'll stick with this red here on the memory. Now, let's say we want to go with a different color, and this is kind of a custom thing. In our software here, where it says single color, if we do a drop down and go by areas, what this will do is it'll list all the different areas on the memory modules that we can color in. Hold on here, let me turn on the water cooler too. So we got red up on there too. Now, let's see, by areas, and we'll go to our water cooler, so it's now listed on there since we turned it on. And we're going to set that to yellow as well. So if we look on that, we'll see that the water cooler has got a nice little yellow ring on it while the memory's red. Now, on my son's, the way I have it configured, of course, it's a Pacman theme. So I went with, of course, you know, red, pink, light blue, and orange. And how I did that, they're all red now, is I actually had to go into here, into each of the individual colors. Now, the way this is set up, like memory bank 1, or excuse me, location mem 1, and then it goes 8. There's 8 LEDs in each memory module. So if you look on this list here, you'll see that listed, you know, 4 different times. So since we have 4 modules in here, you have to actually change each additional LED on each bank by itself. So like location memory 1, let's change that to this 250. We'll go with an even number here, 250, 255. So you see where I set that there, 250, 255. That's our new color, and I click apply. Now if we look over here, I don't know if that shows up because of the glare, sorry about that. The top LED on bank 1 is blue. See that? And if we go to location memory 2, do the same thing. We'll just make this 0. This was, what was it, 250 and 255. Apply. We can now see 2 banks lit up. See that? And for the next bank, bank 2, now if you follow the motherboard manual, you're going to know that bank 1 is here and bank 2 is not right next to it. It's actually over 1. So if we follow this on the screen here and go down to location memory 1 again, and we'll change this to 255, 250. 250, see what I'm doing here is 255 is the red, and the blue is 250, and then I click apply to make the purplish color. And there's our bank 2, which is the second one over. I don't know if you can see that. We'll do the next memory location. We'll just do the same thing. Oops. I can't type today. There we go. So you can kind of see it. So hard to see. But yeah, it goes on and on like that until you get the effect that you want. And what stinks about the Asus OraSync is that, when, you know, let's say, like, you know, we have that all set up, right? Like, oh, okay, there it is. Well, it doesn't give you like a profile to save. You know, you would think that would be awesome. Let's you know, put it in a little profile. That way, if I want to go to that color scheme again, I can do it. Well, you can't, because let's say, like, well, I go back to color cycle and I click apply. And of course, you know, there it is, changing colors. And then I go back to that static color that we were working on, click apply. Well, I'm back to red, so I got to start all over again. And that's just kind of one of the things about Asus, you know. Now you can do this with the different effects too. The breathing effect, the comet effect, flash and dash. I mean, all those effects, you can choose the individual colors that you're going to display on there. Here's the comet effect. Here, let's turn that off and go back out of that. Now, we'll go to the Rgb Fusion next. Now, what that is gigabytes software. Now, in this one, you'll see a picture of the motherboard and some basic colors over here. There's nothing going on. But if we click something right here like static, it lights up orange, which is gigabytes basic color. And if we look over here, we see this addressable RGB strip lit up. This is actually the same RGB strip that I have in front here too, that comes with this Deepcool case. It's actually synchronized with it. What I have is a splitter going on here. Actually 2 splitters, that way I could separate them out. See how I have 2 lights in there? But like I said, I'm going to move these. This is just for illustration. So we can do our basic colors right there. Red, blue, you know, dark blue, purple. And with this one, we get a little bit of color cycle here. A little bit of effects there. But if we click on this right here, excuse me, I'm sorry, let me go back to that. What I clicked on here. If we click on this anywhere on the screen, let me show you that again, we're going to get different areas of the motherboard that we can control, right? Like this right here, and this right here would be the Oris right there, and then that little eagle looking thing right there. And then, of course, this right here would be our CPU fan if that was connected up to one of the Rgb headers, which is right there. And then, of course, the 5 volt 3-pin there, 5 volt 3-pin there. See how it says digital LED. And then LED C1, that would be the 4-pin 12 volt stuff. So you can actually control all those areas individually. And this is gigabyte software. Like I said, MSI's got their own stuff. Asus has got theirs. And of course, ASRock has theirs. But right now we're focusing on this one. Now you see I have that set to white. And in there it is, just bright white. And it's just a matter of clicking that. And click apply. There we go. To red. And now we got red going on here. A little better. Not as bright as that white was. Okay, let's change this back to, let's see. Now, this has got a couple of different effects in it. Like, this is digital A is what I pressed there. It's doing that. Digital B. And again, you can actually control these colors too. Like, let's say I want that green. See how that does that, and C. Kind of back and forth. So you can do a couple of different things with this. And this is being ran off of the 5-volt 3-pin header of the motherboard. This is a good explanation of the digital versus the 12-volt. You know, we've seen the 12-volt. All we can do is just change the color, maybe make it fade in and out, make it blink. But this one, as you can see, can do some really cool stuff here, you know. Like right there, we got some different stuff going on there. So some pretty neat effects if you want to use the 5-volt headers of your motherboard. Isn't that pretty wild? Alright, let me go back to home here and we'll shut that off. Close that up. And next we're going to go to Mystic Light. This is the MSI stuff, of course. Now the only thing that I have that's an MSI product on here that's going to show up is the RTX 2060. You got a couple of different effects that you can do on this one too. Of course, you know, you got a rainbow. And you can actually see what it's going to do before you even apply it. Like right there is just kind of showing an example of what's going on. You know, there's nothing over here. See, it's all black. But if I click apply, there it is. It turned on. So let's turn that off. And that's, you know, pretty much same as the other software there. Do this, do that. All right. Next we have the Corsair stuff, and to get to that I just double click that icon there and that'll pop that up. Now on the Corsair stuff, you see we got the K70, let's see, go back home here, the Commander Pro and the Lighting Node Pro. Now you can think of the Commander Pro as kind of a Lighting Node Pro except with fan controllers on it. We're not going to get into the fan stuff, but we're just going to focus on the RGB. But the Commander Pro has got 2 jacks right there, which is basically the same thing that the Lighting Node Pro has here. These 2 here, these 2 here. Same thing. And then it's also got a couple USB hubs in it that you can plug extra stuff into, which is nice. The reason I'm using a Commander Pro and a Lighting Node Pro is because I actually got a lot of stuff going on here, you know. I got lights in the front, lights in the back, but I can control each of those individually. Now, on the Lighting Node Pro, you'll see it says Lighting Channel 1, Lighting Channel 2. And right here, give you a visualization of what they mean by that. This is Lighting Channel 1, Lighting Channel 2 when you hook this stuff up. Okay? So, Lighting Channel 1. Now, we see that there's 4 attached to here. Now, you can actually go to the setup here, and you have to make sure that you are actually set up right. Like right here, Lighting Channel 1, it says RGB light strips. 4 strips are connected. Lighting Channel 2 is same thing, 3 strips are connected. Now if I set that to 1 strip is connected on channel 1, and if I add an effect, rainbow wave is what it'll default to. You'll see the back one is lit up, but these other strips aren't. You can control those individually. Now, if I go back to the lighting setup and I tell it 2 strips are connected, you're not going to see that lit up, but if we click on it, it turns it off, and we highlight it, 2 of them are running. So basically that's how that's going to work. You can get up to 6 strips according to this on each channel. So you can have up to 12 LED strips on this thing just using the Lighting Node Pro. And the Commander would be the same thing. You have up to 12 of them. Same thing with your fans, up to 6 on there. But we'll set this back to 4 like it should be. And if we highlight all those, you see that's running. But if we highlight everything, see how I'm highlighting everything there? Now all 4 of them are running. Now, like I said, we can address those each individually. You don't have to have the same pattern running on every single one. Same thing with our, let's go back up here, Commander Pro. Now, attached to the Commander Pro up here, this was the Lighting Node Pro, this is the Commander Pro, which has got the fan controllers. I'm using an RGB hub, of course, connected to the fans, and we can do the same thing on the Commander Pro. We'll click a new one, and there's our rainbow wave. And if we look at our fans are now moving. See up front there, you can see those too. Everything's a rainbow. Yay. But you'll notice there's nothing lit up here. So what we have to do is we have to go back to our Lighting Node Pro, go to Lighting Channel 2, and we'll click Add, and then we'll see a rainbow wave listed there for our Lighting Channel 2, which had the 3 strips, which are, of course, up front. So you see the 3 strips up front are now running. And again, we can address all those individually too, just like we can our fans. So here we have a rainbow running there, a rainbow running there, rainbow going on the fans. But look, the video card's doing nothing, the memory's doing nothing. What gives, right? Same thing with the keyboard. The keyboards are doing nothing too. Well, we have to synchronize those. Now, there's different ways to do that on this. If it's all Corsair product, like right here, it says K70 RGB. We go lighting effects. We do the same thing. It'll start spiral rainbow. But Corsair also offers something else in the effects. And if we go right here, we see predefined, custom, and lighting link. Now, if we go under the lighting link category and type something in there, or excuse me, select something there, like color shift, there our keyboard's going to be the same as these lights and all the fans. That's how that works. So it synchronizes across all devices. Like, let's say you got your keyboard here and your Commander Pro here and your Lighting Node Pro here. Let's say you got a mouse here and maybe a headset here and this and this and that. You know, Corsair's got a lot of products that will sync with the IQ. That's actually how you get it to do that all together in one easy shot. Is you just select a something from the lighting link category on the side here. Like, we'll go visor, and you can see that shows the keyboard making a little, hold on here, we'll do something else. Color shift. Rainbow. Make that fast. So that's how that works. Now you also have profiles. Now you notice this profile is called tutorial. Usually you'll have one that says default at first. So if you click on default, this is basically the same thing that it was doing before that I had set up for my son. You'll see a different effect that I had chosen up there for the fans. The RGB lights are set up different. You got red, pink, orange, blue. So, yep, there's that. And then up front here, we got some yellow going on there. So that's pretty neat. And then I have one here. It's called Pacman. It's a profile that I downloaded. This synchronizes, of course, with the keyboard as well. So that's pretty neat. And basically what I did is I set the profile on my lights individually the way I wanted them. So that's yellow here, and it's actually doing a Pong effect. And all the lights are sequentially flashing. And then, of course, you got that little Pacman chomping over there. Now, again, though, we don't have this or this lit up. So now that we got this taken care of here on the Corsair stuff, we have to go back and we'll have to match that in each of the individual software for these different things. So if we go back to our Aura software, and let's say we want to do we'll do a breathing effect here. Oh, wait, let's turn it on first, I guess. Do a breathing effect here and set our color to a yellow. Oops, you know what? I messed up. Single color. There we go. So now we got like a breathing effect going on there that's yellow, which also matches the yellow strips and the yellow lights on the fans doing the Pong effect. So we're getting there now. So next, we have to go to the Mystic Light program. And we'll do, let's find it here. Oh, let's do a lightning. Oh, let's find something. Marquee. We'll just go single color. Where's it at? Steady. Steady. And then we'll, of course, choose yellow. And if we look right here, that's lit up now. Of course, you know, we can make it do its different effects. So what we have so far, yellow everywhere here, yellow up there, yellow right there. So we're synchronized. And as you can see, it took several different programs to do it. Let me turn on the light here real quick now. Okay. Wow. Now, let me close this up. That was a lot of stuff just to get that. That was like 4 different programs that we had to use to do that. You know, we used the Asus Aura Sync, and then the Mystic Light for that, and then the Rgb Fusion for these right here. Well, we have them turned off, but that one's actually going to go down in here to light up that. So let's talk about the case a little bit here. I don't have the back to it. If you look at the pictures, you know, you'll see the back, but yeah, this thing is just beautiful. I tell you what, people. I'll probably do another video when I'm done setting it all up. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll just take pictures. But it's really hard to really show this thing off on camera. You have to actually see it in person, and that's just because of the glare, you know, that you get this thing. But if you're wondering what this vintage is, this is actually from an Indian motorcycle. Asked the boss if he could find me one, you know, and what we had at the plant was a front fender that was going to get scrapped because it got damaged. And what we did is just pulled off the emblem from it, and then I just reapplied it to the power supply right there. But I'm going to light that up too. That'll look pretty cool. I'm going to put another one up on top too. So yeah. But this case was painted, of course, Indian yellow. Professionally done. This took a lot of work. I tell you what. I have never put so much work into a case. And actually, you know, I had to have my buddies do the painting for me just because, well, there's a lot of work to it. You know, it's went into the paint booth, and yeah, I wanted a professional look to it because it's for my son, and that's what I got. I'm not sure if we're going to do a part 2 on this or not, and I hopefully y'all get the gist of all that. I'd show you the back of this, but this thing's a mess right now. And I'd try to explain how it all gets wired up, but like I said, it's a mess. And I think it might be a little confusing if I do that. I guess if it was cleaned up, I would. It's going to be a mess for a while, though, because I'm waiting for some cable mod extensions to get here. You can see the video card and the power and the CPU power are all black right now. We're just using the stuff from the power supply until the cable mod stuff gets here. I guess it's up in Omaha right now, according to the tracking. So this should be here in a couple days, and then I don't know, I guess I'll post more pictures. And I'm trying to get it in before the builds.gg AIO contest begins with the stock water cooling. I mean, you know, that's stock, but, you know, that's badass. And I know people are having problems with this cooler. The Republic of Gamers, I'm not even going to try. Well, I guess I could try saying it. Ryo. It's R-Y-U-O. I don't know. You pronounce it. I can't. But I also had trouble with it at first, too. You know, I'd put the image in there, and it would freeze up, and it would garble up, and I'm like, what the hell? And I fought with it, and I ended up checking out a few forums and reading a few posts and what have you, and I found out, oh, there's a firmware update for it. So I tried a firmware update, and so that actually helped. That worked. So I finally got it to work, so it showed up the picture. I had one little Pacman animation on there, but I thought it was kind of small. So I decided to go with this one instead. Now, how I did that was I have a program. I use Paint Shop Pro. I've used Paint Shop Pro for years and years and years. You know, my daughter, she uses, you know, Adobe Photoshop, and I don't really get into that because it's kind of complex for me. It's not my thing. I like Paint Shop Pro because that's what I've always used. But it comes with a program called Animation Shop. And that's what I did. I just basically took the GIF file and resized it to what I needed it to be. And on this one, it's like 160 by 128, I believe, if I remember right. And that's basically all you do is resize it. And then I cropped it as well, too, to show what I wanted it to show. And then changed it in there, and that's what I got. So that's pretty neat. But, I mean, if this was a different one, like a Corsair or something, too, you could absolutely use the Corsair Link software, the IQ software, and synchronize that, too. And that's kind of the good thing about running the same brand of product across your RGB, is that synchronizing it is a lot easier. Like I said before, the ASUS stuff is really good about that. If you're not too concerned about, how am I going to say that right? But like with the AuraSync stuff, ASUS has got a lot of stuff that's easy to synchronize. Works well just on its own. Like with the RGB strips here that I showed you, the 5-volt stuff. Put it into an ASUS board. Awesome. ASUS has also got Corsair headers, I believe, on some of their stuff too, which makes synchronizing with the Corsair stuff pretty easy too, instead of using, you know, Corsair's software. But that's really all it comes down to. When it comes to synchronizing this stuff, it's the software. So hopefully you've all learned something about, well, synchronizing RGB, and hopefully you got a kick out of this computer. This thing's pretty badass. I'm actually pretty jealous of it. I mean, I like my computer, but it's just kind of like, wow, all the stuff this thing does. And I'm not even done with it yet. I'm jealous. I really am. But I'm proud of it. My son deserves it because, you know, he's my pal. And, well, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, guys. And well, thanks for checking out this video and all my other stuff, too. Talk to you later.